Welcome back to MySQL. In order to assess your progress within each lesson, we will use this process in the MySQL course. The objectives of each lesson may change, but for each lesson that requires a MySQL project, you will create various SQL scripts, save them, run them, then export your results. These will be submitted to your instructor for review. Let's begin by opening up the MySQL workbench that you installed in the introduction. You will open a connection to start query under MySQL Connections local instance. You should have a window that looks something like this. I'm going to use an example from section 1.4.9.8 in your textbook, and you can follow along. I will kind of shorten the typing and explain what the statements accomplish. This is the first example in that section, which will select a birth date from the President database, where last name equal Jackson and first name equal Andrew. To run these statements, we will click on the little icon that looks like a lightning bolt, and then look below. Oh, we have an error message. If you look below, you'll see that it's saying that the table doesn't exist, and that is because we haven't selected a default database. So we'll go up to the left and double-click XAMPP, which is our database, and run it again. This time there is a message about the constant Jackson. I will change the single quotes to double quotes like this for Jackson and Andrew, and this time we should have some results that show the birth date of Andrew Jackson. And in fact, it does show that in the window where the output is listed in the middle there. It should display 03/15/1767 for his birthday. Next, we're going to save this file that we just created to do the selection query by clicking the File button in the upper left, then Save Script As. The standard window for saving a file will appear, and you can choose your folder, even creating a new folder. And in fact, in this case, you would create a lesson folder each time that you're setting up your lesson. I used Lesson 0 for my folder name, and then I used a file name which will be placed down below as Jackson_birthday. This is a fairly descriptive name, like you will want to use in each case. Next, click Save. Now let's close this window and start another one. In this case, we'll use the one on the next example in your text. This one will select last name, first name, birth from President, where birth is less than the birth we selected earlier from the birth column for Jackson. This will list all of the presidents born before that date, and there you see in the output window the information came up with Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe, who were all born before Jackson. You should also notice the order of the birth dates. It is by birth date order, which we told it when we did our query. Again, we're going to go up in File, Save Script As, and give it a file name and put it in that same folder. I named it select_all_before_Jackson and saved it. This is a good descriptive name. Finally, let's talk about how to save your output. You see it comes up in that window, and there's a way to capture it. You export it to what they call a comma-separated file. And that file is actually exportable to Excel so that it can be reviewed by your instructor. I'm going to name this result_all_before_Jackson and save it, and then I'm finished. Now, one thing to keep in mind is to check your messages down below. Make sure everything came up as you expected it to so that your test is correct. You can close this out and you're finished. So for each lesson, you will go through this process or something very similar to it, and actually you will zip the files for submission into a single file. I hope this has been helpful, and you will be able to review this with each lesson. Good luck.